This is assignment 4, assembly of foot orthoses. So I've glued my EVA hindpost and I've glued a topi strike pad, and I'm now going to adhere the topi on to the heel post. Following that, I'm going to trim the topi with a pair of scissors before grinding, just to remove the excess material, and then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. And here I've glued a pair of bottom cover pads, a thin vinyl, that I'm going to adhere onto the roughened area on the forefoot of my polypropylene orthotic. The purpose of this forefoot post is to protect the extra pad of poron that I'm going to be placing on the orthotic, because poron is not a very durable material. And in preparation of top covering, I'm gluing my neoprene top cover. I've chosen neoprene as a top cover material because of its cushioning properties, as well as the top cover of the neoprene also reduces shear and makes it easy for the foot to slide into the shoe with the orthoses underneath. Following gluing the neoprene, I'm going to be gluing a layer of poron. I've chosen 1/16 poron to reduce volume in the shoe as well as provide shock absorption for my orthotic. And then I'm going to adhere my glued orthotic and bottom cover to my poron, making sure that there isn't any air bubbles trapped inside and making sure there's a good seal between the poron and the shell and that the contact cement is holding firmly. I'll then be using scissors to trim off the excess material before grinding. And once this is done, I'll be using the grinder to bevel the edges of the poron into the polypropylene shell. As you'll see here, there isn't any lips or ridges, and the poron creates a smooth transition between the heel cup of the orthotic and the top of the orthotic. And we want to ensure there's a smooth finish between the poron and the shell, just to provide a professional appearance to the orthotic. Then I'm going to continue by gluing the top of my poron, and then I'll be adding my top cover once the glue has had a chance to cure. I'll then be placing my top cover in the oven for a few seconds just to soften the material and to reactivate the glue. And once it's prepared, I'll be adhering the poron orthotic onto the top cover, ensuring that there's no air bubbles and that there's a tight seal created between the top cover and the rest of the orthotic. I'll then be trimming off the excess neoprene with a pair of scissors in preparation for grinding my final finish onto the sidewall of the orthotic. After grinding the sidewalls of my orthotic, I'll have a nice clean finish around the top cover, a nice transition between the poron, smooth transitions of the shell. I've beveled the edges where the topi is, and the topi is a nice straight line across the heel post. Once this is done, my orthotic's ready for shaping to the shoe. I've got an insole that I'm going to be tracing. That's the size of my patient's current footwear, and then I'm going to draw a line around the insole, and then I will cut to ensure that I have the correct shape so that the orthotic fits properly into the shoe. I'm then going to use that as a template to draw the shape for my second orthotic so that the two orthotics are the same. And then I'll cut the second orthotic to the same shape as the first. And here I'm illustrating that I've used a plantar skive as well as I've used a bevel all the way around the edge of the top cover so that the orthotic fits better into the shoe and doesn't get hung up on the edges. And here you can see the sidewall taper, so the orthotic fits properly in the shoe, as well as the two orthotics are identical, both in length as well as bevel. The heel cups are the same.